I know you want to get in on Cavs. Yeah. I know you want to get in on this.
The who?
The one-win team.
Oh, the Cavs.
The Cleveland Cavaliers. Yeah, they fired Tyronn Lue over the weekend.
Well, I can't wait to hear what Chauncey got
Larry
to say
Drew
about
puts the Cavs in the win column and promptly states that he is the, quote, acting head coach, not interim. Woj, I will start with you on this one. Why is he taking that approach to this position?
Larry Drew's been part of two staffs now. He was on David Blatt's staff. He was fired. Tyronn Lue came in, and now Tyronn Lue gets fired. Larry was an interim coach last year when Ty was out ill. Larry Drew feels like, listen, I've been a head coach in this league. I got Atlanta to the playoffs 3 times. Whoever coaches this team, especially with Kevin Love, maybe out 3 weeks to a month, 5 weeks, whatever it's going to be, they're going to lose a lot of games. It's not going to help Larry Drew's career to step in and be the interim head coach without some compensation. What he would like is this, to get a raise on his assistant coaching salary for the rest of the year and some kind of guaranteed money next year. Even if they don't retain him and they go out and do a search, which is probably likely what's going to happen, he'd like one contract if they kept him as head coach and one contract where basically it'd be going away money. And right now, Cleveland's not doing that. Larry Drew will stay in this job for the immediate future, but at some point, he's going to just slide back to the assistant coaching chair if he doesn't get that, unless he changes course on it, and they would have to bring in a head coach from the outside to finish the season out.
Yeah, and I think he's right. You know, if you're assistant coach and you get elevated to the head coaching position, he should be getting paid like a head coach. Maybe not an upper echelon head coach, but that's a different job title. So everywhere else in the world, you get a different job title in an elevated position, you should be paid more, in my opinion. So I think LD is he's leveraging the situation.
That's a tough situation to be in. I mean, you got to be fairly compensated to coach this Cleveland team the way it is. Chauncey, you was this close to being the GM there. He bailed out on it. He saw something. He saw something over there.
I'm smarter than I look, Paul Pierce.
I think
smarter than I look.
And also, Larry played in the league, so he's seen this. He's been through it 2 times. I think what he's asking for is reasonable and normal. You're asking me to be the head coach. You got to compensate me for that, because whoever you bring in to actually be the coach, you're going to take care of them. And so I don't understand why.
But to be fair, Cleveland is willing to give him a raise for this year, bump up his salary from the associate head coach. He's under just $1 million. They would take him up, but he wants guaranteed money next year. That's where the hang-up is.
What about the idea that the team that he has to deal with, any sort of mandate that's coming down from ownership or the heads above, as far as, look, they're going to obviously look to rebuild, so vets need to be benched. You guys, having been vets once in your life, what is that like, and what kind of position has he been put in?
Oh, man. I'm going to tell you, from my experience, that is the most frustrating part of basketball right there. It was a point where you didn't even like showing up for practice. I was in 2002, I went to the conference finals, then the next year, second round, then we just tore it all down. Started from scratch, traded Antoine Walker All-Star, and now we're rebuilding. It was like, it was hard for me to wake up. It was hard to stay motivated. You're in the prime of your career. You're putting up big numbers, yeah, you're making the All-Star team, but you got this close to tasting success, or you've had success, and then you take steps back as you're getting older. And that's what Kevin Love, Tristan Thompson, JR, they're older now. The clock is running out on them.
They've been there.
Well, and I'll say this about, T. Lue's situation. For one, I'm happy that they let him go. And here's why, because that probably sounds crazy. But he's a championship coach. And he's been in the championship series, the finals, every single year since he's been coaching. Now you tear it down, and you expect for him to now take this losing easily. I think, to me, it's this simple. He's too overqualified to be in that position. You shouldn't be asking him to do that. And that's where, they have a disagreement. But it is what it is. He did a great job. He's going to be probably first in line for another great job when it's available. And I'm happy that he don't have to get all these losses on his record, quite frankly.
In some ways, it's a little like what happened with David Fizdale last year. There were a lot of losses coming to whoever was coaching that Memphis team last year with the injuries and what had happened. Fizz didn't have to wear any of them. He was out early in the season. He still almost had a winning record, had taken Memphis to the playoffs the year before. And now Ty's got a championship 3 NBA Finals appearances on his resume, different than Fizz's, but a similar situation. And now he's got a year he'll be a prime candidate for jobs that open in the
And
spring.
under the circumstance, they did Ty a favor. They gave him a big contract, which
right.
he's going to get his money. Now this year, like Fizz, he could possibly audition and seek new opportunities.
And keep in mind quickly, just a little added time to go get his health right.
Is
Get
that,
himself-
yep.
You know, this
Why
is
you
all
didn't
perfect.
take
It's all
that GM
perfect.
job again?
I'm a smart man,
Waiting
Paul.
on another one.